Hey there guys, Vrogoth here. So today I just got a quick, well not really a quick video, but I got a video on tanking as a protection warrior. So if you guys do like the video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and there'll be more content coming your guys' way. Alright guys, peace. Okay, so first up we're going to start with talents that I chose. So in level 15 I chose Shockwave, which it's just a better option in my opinion. Level 30 trait I chose Inspiring Presence. Ultimatum as 45. Level 60 Bounding Stride. Level 75 Indomitable. Level 90 Vengeance. And then for the level 100 talent I chose Heavy Repercussions. Now I'm going to go over why I chose them. So the first reason I chose them is because Shockwave it's a cone effect and it allows you to stun multiple enemies, and if you stun more than 3 then the cooldown's reduced by 20 seconds. And yeah, so I just feel like that's a better talent trait to pick up when it comes to your stunning abilities. Level 30 I chose Inspiring Presence because at the moment the way that all the encounters go in dungeons, healing is a really big thing, and being able to help your whole team be able to pretty much heal up using their own damage, it does really increase the amount of success that you will have. So number 45 I chose Ultimatum, and that's because it just increases my DPS. Every single critical strike that I get with my shield slam, it procs up my focus rage, which as of 7.1.5 it isn't really that much of a necessary thing because they're actually getting rid of focus rage, but I'll bring out a little guide to what's happening in 7.1.5 when it actually hits live. So for level 60 I chose Bounding Stride. That's mostly because it was kind of a tie between Bounding Stride and Crackling Thunder. Bounding Stride just gives me a lot more like movement, and movement is very big when it comes to trying to do dungeons and trying to get them done quickly, which is how I like to do. I like to speed run. It just makes my time a little bit more effective, which I will show you in the Netharions Lair Mythic that I have recorded for you guys. So yeah, Crackling Thunder pretty much just increases the radius of Thunderclap by 100%. Really good, so it does help out a lot. Okay, so level 75, Indomitable. So Indomitable increases your maximum health by 25% and the maximum effective ignore pain by 25%. It's just a really good ability, and it just allows for everything to pretty much work better, give you a bigger health pool, and allows you to take more damage with your ignore pain. And yeah, so level 90 we have Vengeance. Ignore pain reduces the rage cost of your next focus rage by 35%, and focus rage reduces the rage cost of your next ignore pain by 35%. So pretty much you want to be going between both abilities and just keeping that Vengeance up. And yeah, and it works really well with Ultimatum because when you get a critical strike with your shield slam, it procs both Ultimatum and Vengeance, so you can use that free focus rage to then make your next ignore pain a lot cheaper for you. I chose Heavy Repercussions for my level 100 talent because its passive is Shield Slam extends the duration of shield block by 1.5 seconds, and then your shield block increases the damage of Shield Slam by additional 30%. So in other words, you want to keep your focus rage, your ignore pain, your shield slam, and your shield block. They're your main abilities. I'll also go through rotation as I'm going through Netharions Lair, so you guys know what I'm doing. It's pretty much a very easy rotation. It really just depends on how you play and whether or not you're going to be doing AoE or single target. I will do a separate video on AoE tanking because it is a bit different to single target, and with the Netharions Lair I'm only going to be showing the boss fights, just because the trash wasn't really handled well by my DPS. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for talents. So yeah, on to our artifact power and our artifact traits for our weapons. Okay, so these are our artifact traits. So as you can see, I've got 32 points in, So yeah, let's get into the brief rundown of the traits that you want to pick. Okay, so first up we got Netharion's Fury. So that's just the main one that you pick. That's how you start off your weapon. Then there is, so what you want to go to next is down to Strength of the Earth aspect, increases damage dealt by Devastate by 15%. Then you want to go and put 3 points into Shatter the Bones, increases the critical strike chance of your shield slam by 15% during shield block. Then you want to go into Intolerance, which increases your maximum rage by 30. Then you want to go up to Dragon Skin, increases the total damage ignored by Ignore Pain by 8%. Well, it would be 6%, but I've got a relic. Then we go into Reflective Plating. Spell Reflect now reflects an unlimited number of spells during its duration. Then you want to go into your first golden trait, which is Dragon Scales. Blocking an attack has a chance to increase the total damage ignored by your next Ignore Pain by 40%. So then after that, you want to make your way over back down to Intolerance and then go up to Wall of Steel. When you target an ally with Intercept, it redirects 2 additional attacks and the damage you take from those attacks is reduced by 10%. Then you go down to Leaping Giants, which reduces the cooldown of Heroic Leap by 8 seconds. Then you go down to Scales of Earth. Critical blocks have a chance to cause an eruption from Scale of the Earth Water. So it pretty much just gives you some bonus damage. Then you want to go to Vrykul Shield Training. Then to Toughness, which increases your stamina. Or you can go into Will to Survive, increasing Last Stand's health by an additional 30%. It really just depends on your personal preference. Rumbling Voice increases duration of and radius of Demoralizing Shout by 50%. Then you want to go into your third golden trait, which is Might of the Vrykul. Shield Slam and Revenge generate 50% increased rage during Demoralizing Shout. So then you just want to fill up the extra slots. Rage of the Fallen increases damage by Revenge, and Thunder Crash increases damage dealt by Thunderclap. Then you go on to your Prestige. So yeah, that's how you want to build it, and yeah, so hopefully it helps you guys a little bit more. If you guys need more information, just let me know. Relics don't really matter, just pretty much go for the ones that give you the higher item level until you get to, if you want to raid or anything. And yeah, so that's it for the artifact power and your traits. And yeah, so let's get into some tanking gameplay. Okay guys, so at the moment we are in a Netharions Lair Mythic. So it's just a regular Mythic. I'm running with a few of my friends and one pug. So with this first pull, I normally try to pull all the bugs in at once, so it just makes it a little bit easier for me to use my artifact ability to cleave them all down. And then you just want to try to get them out of the green because it does give them a little bit more of a damage buff. Unfortunately, this one decides to just stay in the green, so it takes a little bit longer to kill. So this is just my quick little way of doing this part of the dungeon is just run up and just kind of take everything out except for the 2 big green guys. And yeah, so then you just pop off to the left, go down into the river, which you'll see in a second, and yeah, just kill the one Crocolisk there. It doesn't really do anything, it just attacks. And then yeah, you can get down to the first boss, and that's where I'll start going a little bit more in depth into how I go about tanking. Yeah, so yeah, just kill the ads. There's going to be one little spider that gets pulled, and that's easy enough to deal with. Just kill it, and just go and kill the Crocolisk, and then you're all good. And you can avoid a lot of trash that would normally take up a lot of time for you. And yeah, so let's just wait for the little Crocolisk to go down, and then we'll probably skip through. Yeah, so we just swim down. So as you can see, the damage meters are pretty good. Our paladin is doing alright. Yeah, so now we're down to the first boss. I'm just gonna skip all the RP stuff that happens and go straight into the encounter. So I like to tank it away from the group, so I'm more towards where you jump out to go to the next area. I don't really worry too much about the ads because you can normally burn it down pretty quickly, and he does a big smash that kills them anyway. I do try to keep them more on my side, but there is a lot to deal with, so I just normally just leave them. If the DPS cleaves them down, they cleave them down. With this boss, it's pretty much just tank and spank. Avoid all the green stuff, it does hurt. And try to give your healer somewhat of a decent time. I was actually running with a healer that had only ever healed one mythic before this, but he did really well. So yeah, so just tank and spank, just try to keep your damage up. And it's good to have people in your group that know how to damage properly. And yeah, so that's the end of that boss. And yeah, so the next lot of ads, not really much to talk about. There's a group of ads called the Pelters. They like to, when they get really low, they like to jump away from you. So if you can have someone CC, if there's multiple of them, have them CC one. And then yeah, so I just skipped on through to the second boss. I don't want you guys to have to sit through all the trash pulls. But yeah, I'm showing you the trash before the boss because it is a little bit more necessary to, you know, to watch how to do the ads before the boss more than the ads prior to the boss, if you know what I mean. So yeah, you don't really want to pull too many of these because they are annoying. With the big Hulk guy, you want to actually turn him away from the group because he does do an AoE that really hurts. I normally try to get the group to kill the little guy, but unfortunately they were focusing on the Hulk, which is alright, but a lot of damage was going out that was unnecessary if we had just killed the small guy first. I always forget his name, so I just call him the small guy. Then I jump over to these guys because you don't want to deal with the Pelters straight away. You want to kind of wait for them, and yeah, just try to have everything sorted out so you don't accidentally pull the boss, which has happened to me a few times. It's very manageable, but it's just something that just makes it a little bit smoother. Not really much to say about the rest of the guys, so I normally just try to put a skull down on the one that I want people to focus on, and then we just switch to the other ones. This one's dead. Yeah, as you can see, they jump away. It's kind of annoying, and it just makes trying to keep aggro a little bit more troublesome. Switch to the other one, put another skull on him, because yeah, as you can see, the other guy's going down pretty quickly, which could just be AoE or it could be someone not focusing the right target. But again, if you're not running with friends, it's very hard to try to know what people are doing. So I tend to use, even with my friends, I'd just use markers to let them know which one I want them to kill. And yeah, so with this boss, he does put a little trap down on the ranged who are standing in like one spot out of range for him, and if you get caught in that, it's just really annoying. As you can see, there's a trap there, and our mage didn't move because she wasn't paying attention, but that happens. You normally want to try to get these totems down as quick as possible. This boss also has this is his going into second phase, so you want to follow the little totems that he makes, and yeah, normally want to try to keep track of them. I'm normally pretty good at it. I thought I lost him on this one, but yeah, you just pretty much just walk back and just try to zoom your camera out as much as possible, and then just use your mouse to trail where you think he's going. And yeah, normally you get it first go. I have had a few times where I've had to go through all of them because I lost track. It is one of those things that's really annoying. And then yeah, just pretty much just burn the boss down, try not to have him go into that phase again. We did pretty well. We managed to burst him down within this phase. He doesn't really do too much, really. You just want to try to keep your cooldowns up and make it an easy time for your healer. So I guess I might go over my rotation a little bit. So you'll see from the screen I'm spamming Devastate a lot, which I do that because it gives me a chance to proc my Shield Slam, and that's like one of my main abilities. It also ties in well with Focus Rage, Shield Block, and Ignore Pain. So that's pretty much the main abilities that you use for single target. Just Devastate, Shield Slam, Focus Rage, and Ignore Pain, and try to keep your shield block up pretty much all the time. Sometimes I don't really need to worry about it because my Ignore Pain's pretty well kept on top of, so Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite pulls in this dungeon that's coming up. So with the first two packs, you want to just take it easy. Again, don't try to pull too much, because there are little grubs that spawn that need to die straight away. They do a thing called metamorphosis. It's just, if you can get them out of the way the moment they spawn, it just makes it a lot easier for the group. Yeah, so you just pretty much wait, just do damage, try to wait for them to have the grub spawn, and they'll normally spawn at the back of the pack or just on top of you. So if they spawn on top of you, that's good. You can just cleave them down with the rest of the mobs, but most of the time they decide to be a little sneaky and try to get their metamorphosis off. And when they get their metamorphosis off, they're like a mini version of the boss. And it's just kind of annoying. So yeah, my favorite pull is coming up. And yeah, so as you can see, when you look down, there's a nice little grouping of monsters, and you want to I just heroic leap into them and try to pull them all in together, and just thunderclap, have all the aggro on me, and then pop my artifact ability. And yeah, I top the damage meters here because I'm doing close to 1 million DPS. Yeah, so it is my favorite pull to do in this whole dungeon. It's just pretty much just pads the meters and just makes you feel like you're actually doing something. Tanking isn't really all about doing damage, but if you can go big dick, go big dick. Always go big dick. So this second boss, or third boss, sorry, he's not really that hard. You just want to avoid the stuff on the ground, and when you get the skull on you, run away. Just it normally goes on the tank. I have had it go on a DPS once, but I wasn't tanking, so it's fine. Eventually he will put a little thing on you. I'm trying to remember what it's called. Sorry. I think it's some bite. You'll see it with my my add-ons, which I might do an add-on video a bit later on. I haven't really decided. So yeah, with this boss, pretty much just tank and spank and just avoid all the green stuff. Again, this dungeon's not really that hard. You do eventually take a lot of damage, as you can see here. I had to pop last stand just because my healer is still learning, and yeah, I don't mind having to pop cooldowns when, you know, I'm trying to make it easier on a brand new healer. So yeah, I really like this dungeon because it's just one of those dungeons where you can just pretty much take some undergeared people and get them gear. And here we go. That's the ability that you have to pretty much use these green pools. Just makes it a little bit easier for you to be able to stop yourself from getting bitten and getting thrown in the air like he's trying to eat your face. Yeah, so again, this boss is going down, so we move on to the next part, which isn't very fun. I'm gonna skip the annoying trash. There's two mobs that you have to kill, and when they get to a certain amount of health, they start casting an ability. That ability turns them into big giants, and you gotta pretty much deal with them just focusing on one person. So now for the fun part. Before this boss, there is 2 adds for each side. There is a trapper, and then there's this big juggernaut. So I normally have either a mage or a rogue with me, so I get them to sheep or sap the trapper, just because they're more annoying to deal with, because they do an ability that's called bound, and it just pretty much stuns you for a few seconds and it just stops the damage going through. So yeah, just try to separate them and just focus on one group of adds at a time. Don't try to big dick it and pull all 4, because if your healer isn't good, you're gonna die. If your DPS doesn't put out enough AoE damage, you're gonna die, and you don't want to wipe in a regular mythic. The only way you can really get better at tanking is just by doing it, and hopefully I can help you guys with that with this series that I'm going to be doing, where I'm going to go completely through every single dungeon and explain to you guys what's going on, what you have to do, how you have to face bosses, and all that kind of stuff, what to watch out for, how to increase your damage, all that kind of stuff. It'll be pretty fun. And yeah, he was just using the ability bound. Just try to interrupt that as soon as possible. It is interruptible. And yeah, it's pretty much GG there. This boss, he has 2 abilities that knock you back, and luckily with this attempt I did alright. He was still knocking me back, but he didn't knock me back into the lava, which is good. So yeah, I try to, there's like this one spot on this bit of bone that when you stand up against it, he can't actually knock you back, and I was trying to get to that spot, but I just couldn't get it. I didn't want to stand anywhere near the lava just in case my healer wasn't able to heal me through it, so I just kind of pretty much just stayed and used my 2 charges of intervene and my heroic leap to pretty much get me back to the boss, so he wasn't running around like a chicken with his head cut off. And yeah, so pretty much just tank and spank. He does do this one ability where, see how there's the spikes up in the corner? He does this ability called, I think it's Magma Wave, and he just starts smacking his hammer down, and it starts creating a lot of AoE damage, but we didn't really have to worry about it. We bursted him down pretty quickly, so I just pretty much just stood out there and just popped some cooldowns to keep myself alive, and we killed the boss pretty easily. So there's not really much that you have to worry about. So there's the ability. Yeah, so that's the end of that dungeon. It was pretty easy. I only took like 20 minutes, but I've cut this down to 13. So yeah, that's it for that part. Alright guys, thanks for watching the video. If you guys did really enjoy it, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And if you do want any more content from me, just tell me in the comments down below what you want to see, and I'll do my best to make that video. Alright guys, I'm going to be streaming in about 2 hours, so keep an eye out for the video of when I'm going live. And yeah, hopefully you guys can come join me on Twitch and we can have some fun. Alright guys, have a good one.